2019. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Kenna.
President Jabicki Bell.
Here.
Mr. Conti.
Here.
Dr. Carpenter. Ms. Lualbo.
Here.
Mr. McCarthy.
Here.
Ms. Provenza.
Here.
Mr. Suchovich. Here. Mayor Recupero.
Here.
Mr. Alexander.
Here.
Mr. Pitch.
Here.
I am also here.
Okay. There are no registered comments this evening, so council will move right into the comments from the public. Please approach the podium on agenda-related items. Kindly state your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi, Carrie Del Rosso, Public Relations. I just wanted to check in with you all to see if there's anything that you need to relay to me. I'm not going to stay for the whole meeting tonight. There's been a lot of press releases done. I don't have them all off the top of my head. I will email them over. Nancy, I promised you I would email them, but I didn't get to it yet. There was one on the brew pub. There was one on a couple different things. The light, I can't think off the top of my head. But if there's anything else, I think the bike derby went really well. I got to get over after baseball and get some videos on and got it on social media. But if there's any other requests that you all have while I'm here. Anything? Okay, the first farmer's market was Thursday. Stephanie Garraby did a wonderful job, and she's very organized, so she's going to be sending more emails out to vendors, things like that. We have more farmers this year, and we're trying to line them up, give them a little bit more publicity. First food truck event is June 27th, and we have the Stegerly Band. They're coming that day, so we'll make sure that we do a press release in the next week about that. Stephanie's going to try to bring a food truck in, though, every week, I think. She said someone was supposed to come last week, and they never end up showing up, so. All right.
I want to personally thank you for stepping to the plate on Saturday for the bike derby and getting that put out for us.
Yeah, well, it got a lot of press. There was a lot of people here, and I was so impressed with even all of you that were there and just kind of showing up, and the streets people were making hot dogs. I mean, it was a great event. I mean, I can't say enough about it. So, and also, I don't know if you're aware of this. This is kind of on a personal level. There's so many people playing baseball at Cribs right now because the lights are on, and the RAA has been hosting like T-ball events at night and things like that. So keep our fingers crossed for that new concession stand. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
I noticed the field has been really utilized. Ride by there day and night. It's busy as heck up there.
Yes, and there was another thing too. There was a ceremony today at the school district, and Brian Duncan, who is a Verona resident, he was acknowledged through RAA because he's got a 10U team that is just ridiculous. I mean, he's bringing in people from Hampton and all over the place who've been playing on this field, and it's good stuff. So you know, people are aware.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carrie.
Hello, Tim Long, 323 Penn Street. Our event's coming up at the end of the month, the Lights Out Summer Kickoff. The bathrooms at the field are still not repaired.
Jerry, you want to do that or you want me?
What's that? Go ahead.
The bathrooms right now, there is mold in the women's room and in the men's room. They were told not to go in there until that is cleaned out. We're waiting on the company to come and clean that out, and then as soon as that's done, everything will be good.
All right, do we have any time frame on when that's
Have you
going to...
heard, you have any idea?
I talked to him. I'll follow up with him. He may have already been there, but I'll check. If not, it'll be this week.
All right. I'm glad. I wish we would have known that because we go in there every once in a while to check to see if they're fixed. But
It's not terrible, but you don't want kids in there.
yeah, but yeah, we just wanted because this is a borough-sponsored event since it's through the Parks and Rec, and it looks bad on the borough whenever there's bathrooms there that don't work. The other thing is the trash cans that were purchased to be put up at Cribs. They're still not up at Cribs. I actually talked to AJ on Saturday, and he knew nothing about installing them, so.
Okay, I'll talk with them again.
Again, something we'd like to get up there before this event.
I'll make sure they're up there before this weekend.
All right, thank you.
Tim, when is it at the end of the month?
June 30th.
Thank you. Okay, no others. We'll move on. Mr. Kenna?
The first thing on the list is the meeting minutes. The meeting minutes were emailed out to everybody for the workshop meeting in May. So we would need, a motion would be in order to approve the meeting minutes for the workshop in May.
I think we need also a motion to approve the minutes for the first meeting in May as well.
We do. We need it for the 14th and the 28th.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dr. Carpenter. Second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
The bills payable was emailed out, as well as the, in front of you, hard copy. A motion will be in order to pay the bills and approve the list of bills that were paid.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Mr. Conti.
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
For the month of May, for real estate taxes for the current year, we received $169,603.17. For delinquent real estate taxes, $5,531.98. I apologize, that is actually for the prior year. And then delinquent ones are $16,761.12. That would be over 1 year. Real estate transfer tax is $3,748.50. And earned income taxes for the current year, $29,966.63. Local service taxes for the current year, $7,164.26.
Can I have a motion to accept the tax collector's special taxes report?
I'll make a motion to accept the tax
second.
collector special taxes.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy, second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed.
For the May treasurer's report, I'll give the balances, and then there's something on here I want to bring attention to that's a little bit strange, so I just want to explain it to everybody. We began the month of May with $563,773.21 in the general fund. We received in deposits $299,197.62. We spent $160,260.99 for an ending balance in the general fund of $702,709.84. On that statement, under sanitary sewer account, there's a negative number under deposits, which doesn't make any sense. So what I want to explain, and I think we talked about it a little bit at the last business meeting, Oakmont Water accidentally gave us a check that was way more than what they should have made. It was $119,519.67. We deposited that amount. They called and said, we messed up, we shouldn't have given you that. So we then wrote a check out for that exact amount, which is on the bill payable list that you can see. And they sent us the check for what they should have paid us was $61,906.53. I put that money in and out of the deposit account, so not to make it look like it was a payment to Alcosan. I wanted to keep it separate so that I would remember whenever the auditors look at it next year and make sure that it makes sense. So that deposit amount being negative just reflects the amount we gave Oakmont Water back for the overpayment that they gave us. Make sense?
The 57?
The 57, yeah. That's the net between the overpayment and what they actually paid us. That's the net difference for the month.
Okay.
Okay? So I think we would need a motion for both the tax collector report and the treasurer's report.
Oh, we did the tax
Did we?
collector.
Okay,
Pat and Dawn. Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Suchovich.
Second.
Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Jerry, I just want to make sure that I'm reading this right. Should the end netcom numbers on this paper that you give us like this be the same as the net income on the horizontal page?
If it's the right month, yeah. Let me see.
Well, I'm looking, because on this page, one that shows all the months, it makes it look like we're doing really well, that we're 465,000 approximately over. but on this other one, it makes it look like we're 397 negative. So I'm confused. How am I
Okay,
reading
so,
this wrong?
because it's two different numbers you're looking at. So the number, the 465 is the total amount of money over our expenses for 2019.
So that's a good thing.
Sure.
We're doing well.
Correct.
Okay.
397 negative is the difference between May of last year and May of this year. So it's just May
I
over
see.
May. That's not a total. But if
Okay.
you look at the year-to-date numbers, or if you look at, well, I have this on my report, but to keep your report from being a million different numbers that don't make any sense. Last year, we received the majority of our property taxes in May. This year, we received the majority of our property taxes in April. So April's number this year is much, much higher than April's number of last year. May's number of this year is almost $400,000 less than it was of May last year. It's the same, it's just that we received, more people paid their property taxes early this year than they did last year.
Okay.
So that's why it looks like that May over May change.
Okay.
But that's not an annual total, that just is May last year versus May this year.
Got it. But can I assume then that this number, 465,731, in the positive, which is a 219 year-to-date, we're in the plus?
We are, but you have to remember, we received 80% of our revenue in the first 5 months of the year. So we spend money throughout the year, we receive all our money at the beginning, so it's not like we're sitting on this huge profit that we're gonna have, that's not how it
No,
works.
I
We
mean,
have
it's
to-
only the end of May.
Right, we have to
Show.
survive on that because the vast majority of our revenues are done now, because payroll, property taxes are
Yeah.
done.
I just wanted to clarify
Yep.
the two reports.
Yeah, it's a very good thing.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I'm good. I think there's a motion on the floor.
Motion made to accept the treasurer's report by Mr. Suckovich, second by Mr. Conti. Any more questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Police chief's report.
Complaints received 137, total crimes reported 30, total crimes cleared 25, total persons arrested 22. Crime code summary issued 14, vehicle code summary 7, borough code summary issued 8, borough parking tickets 73. Magistrates fines collected $336.53. Borough fines and fees collected $440. There was no amusement. Municipal fines $455.24. Total fines and fees collected $1,231.77. And parking permit fees, $645.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the police chief's report?
I'll make that motion to accept the
Okay.
police chief's report.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy, second by Mrs. Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Fire chief's report.
We had 18 fire calls for the month of May. We had the new engine inspected last week, nothing wrong, everything's good. They took care of that, Jerry. I don't know if they're gonna send you a bill or what on that. So, other than that, everything's good.
Thank you. Have a motion to accept the fire chief's report.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Conti,
I'll second.
second by Mr. McCarthy. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. EMS report.
I'll read that. Jamie had to go on a call and he gave it to the chief, and the chief had to go on a call and they gave it to me. ALS calls 9, BLS calls 9, refusals 5, lift assistance 2, 1 cancellation, 1 evaluation. Total 911 response calls were 27, And just a reminder, on June 29th, Lower Valley is going to do a safety check on all car seats from 11 a.m. to 2, and it is free of charge.
Where?
Here at the Borough Building.
It's down here at the bottom. Okay, can I have a motion to accept the EMS report?
I'll make a motion to accept the EMS report.
Motion by Mr. McCarthy, can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Conti. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mayor?
I'm sorry, I'm just reading something from the chief. The bike derby, I just want to comment on it, I'm sure others will, went very well as usual. It was very much organized, and every year it seems to get better and better. And I'd like to thank everyone involved, all of council, Sergeant Franco's fire department. There's just a lot of names that I can't even think of right now. There was a lot involved with food and drinks and everything, and prizes, so thanks to everyone on that. It was very nice. And Matt, you gonna bring up about the red light, remember what you and I talked about?
I'll talk about that.
Okay. And where are we at on the demo of these homes?
So there's a grant that we are waiting on that's gonna cover the 4th Street homes, is what we put it in for. And then, is there one in particular you're waiting?
Well, can we change that to some of the homes that are next to residents? I mean, not that they aren't next to residents, but they're down over the hill and out of sight, where the other ones are right there, like the one on East Railroad, one on Church Street, things like that.
So those were the two that were submitted for the grant, so those two are locked in.
They're locked in,
But we
okay.
do have, we committed a match amount of $6,000 and the grant is $24,000. This year, the county has decided to do all the asbestos surveys, so that takes $4,000 to $5,000 away from us that we don't have to put out. So my hopes, and I'm talking with Tom Benecki about it, is if the bids come in good enough, we can add a 3rd structure on somewhere else in town.
That's all I have.
I just wanted to comment on that at the ordinance meetings, Mark mentioned that 849 3rd Street would be his first priority of one to get rid of. And also just want to remind everyone that we are required to exterminate before we demolish. So, and I think that we agreed to use Bill Grill for that whenever that comes due. I don't know what the timing is, how that works, they would know.
These ones, they were just officially approved by the county, so they will be a late July, early August bid. So more than likely, there wouldn't be any construction or demo until middle of September.
Okay, so we just need to time the extermination.
Yeah.
So it's not too soon, but so that there's enough time to get rid of the problems.
Possible infestation.
Yeah, yes, there you go, thanks.
Just have a few things here. I do want to thank everybody for the bike derby help. Council's presence there was meaningful, including passing the basket, and we collected $83 cash from everybody that was in the audience. I really appreciated that help. We had 89 children register that day. 5 bikes were given away, which is double what we gave last year. Janet, those freebies, I mean, like they went. Thank you so much. Carrie, if it wasn't for you getting the news out there for the Facebook and that, we probably wouldn't have been recognized, and I appreciate that. Sylvia, are you going to be able to put a write-up in the newsletter for this coming June, was it June 14th when the newsletter's due?
Yes.
And get something in there about the bike derby?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I attended the open school board budget meeting last night. Get ready, our taxes are going up. School taxes are on the rise. I want to send out a reminder to council and everybody that the summer lunch program is starting on Monday. at the park. Okay, so we all know that that's what we approved with Shirley. It starts on June 17th, goes to August 9th, from 8:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. And I am putting this offer out to all of council as well. The community dinners that are offered every month, Shirley is stuck on one in August. So I talked with her about that. She has the noodles and that, but she was thinking about macaroni and cheese, hot dogs, Bush's baked beans. And I thought it would be a great team-building experience for us, and as well as a good public relations for council to participate in the community dinner on August 28th. So, we wouldn't have to do the cooking, we would purchase the supplies and that, and it would be nice if we could also attend there and be the runners and the servers for the food. It's from 4:30 to 6:30, some takeouts at 6 o'clock, but I mean, she does have her group and everything there. So most of the stuff we get purchased at Sam's Club. So I've got a sign up here for us, and I was going to pass it around council here. If you could please pick something that you are willing to do. She feeds about 90 people a month. So the hot dogs, we would be looking at packages from Sam's Club. I think you get 24 in a pack, so it would be like 6 packs, 144 hot dogs, because some people eat 2. That means we would need 144 buns. And so I'm gonna start it that way and pass it to you first. And
you know, it wouldn't hurt, before you do this, maybe to go and talk to Charlie Turner for some donations of Turner's iced tea.
Done.
Done?
Done.
Or
Okay.
even the Wilton Water Authority to get some water. All done?
Done.
Excellent.
Okay, but these are things that
Extra.
are backup, right. So it's August 28th.
And that's from 4:30 to 6:30?
4:30 to 6:30, yes. Okay, takeouts at 6 o'clock. So I volunteered council to participate in a team-building experience,
Good
and
idea.
hope to see you all there on the 28th.
See, I can get there late. I work till 5:30.
Hey.
But I have no problems buying stuff.
That's right, we'll take it, Dawn, we'll take it. Okay, so I think that is... open budget, okay. Mr. Pitch.
Yes, thank you. I'm working on finalizing the PA Small Water and Sewer grant we have. I had to change the scope because we ended up getting another grant to do part of what this grant was to do. So that was a good thing, but I was working with DCD to change the scope on that, so we'll be moving forward. The traffic signal at Wildwood, as you can see, is pretty much up. We have our work order in with the power company to supply the power to it. And under PennDOT regulations, it will go on blinking probably 7 to 10 days. They typically start on a Tuesday and end it the following Thursday, just depending on the timing of when it gets the power. And they do this just to ease people into a new signal in the area. So you see it there and you kind of make the mental note that it's going to start functioning. As for the design of it, that's all based off of PennDOT formulas and existing site conditions. So as it is now, if you're heading out of town, like down towards the plaza, that will have the signal heads. And the question that I've received the most is if there would be a designated turn lane there, which there will not be. Part of the reason is due to the roadway width there is only 18 feet. PennDOT requires a 10-foot lane in order to have multiple lanes. As we know, though, there's plenty of room to pass people, so it will still continue flowing. There just won't be a designated turn arrow for that direction. Now, coming into town, there will be a designated turn lane and a straight lane, much like there is now. And then coming off of Wildwood, there'll be the left and right lane. When the signal turns green, both lights on ARB will be green, and then once those turn red, the lights on Wildwood will be green. And then also right-hand turns will be green while Wildwood turns green.
The right-hand turn coming in from town.
Correct. And that's based off of the PennDOT formulas. They do the traffic counts to see how many vehicles make which movement, and then that's how it bases off of what turn lanes and arrows you need.
The only problem I see is coming out of Verona toward town or toward the shops. Someone in the beginning of the line is turning left and don't move over enough, and there's, say, someone illegally parked too close to the corner, no one's gonna move that cycle because they're waiting to turn left the entire
That could become a potential issue, which we'll work with the police on, and we might have to put up another sign or whatnot. Unfortunately, in that area, the roadway width just did not, we would have had to take 2 feet of sidewalk to create enough lane width there. With it also is they're installing new equipment at the south signal and the Center Avenue signal. So all the lights should be timed. They use a GPS unit, so it goes off the world clock by milliseconds. But with anything electronic, you get a power surge or something, it's undoubtedly, once we get it turned on, there's gonna be some days where it will cause a backup. We hope to minimize that, but any of these things, there's gonna be a learning curve with it, so we just ask for your patience, and we'll try to get it fixed as fast as we can.
So Matt, coming inbound, that'll be Wildwood, and inbound towards Verona will be red while traffic flows outward, so it gives a chance for people to make a left.
No, ARB will both be green at the same time.
Oh, really?
That was gonna be my question.
Yeah, they'll both be green at the same time, and I asked that question too, and it's based off of the PennDOT formulas, and the timing of the traffic. There wasn't a warrant for its own phasing.
Really?
But the equipment, and then I did also ask PennDOT about that. If it should become an issue to where it's causing too much of a backup because of people trying to make that turn, all the equipment's there, it would just mean we would have to time the equipment differently to where each leg would be green. So one direction would be green, the other two would be red.
There's a lot of people that make a left going up, or buses and everything, and if you got a flow of traffic coming into town, it's gonna back up traffic into town.
Yeah,
In the main drag.
They did send me the traffic study on it. When most of the people were making that left, it seems to be morning time when not as many people are coming north. So it worked itself out to where they didn't necessarily interfere with each other. It's something we'll keep an eye on, and if we need to, we'll get the company out here and retime it so each leg gets its own time.
Yeah, I'll have an officer out there with different hours sitting over at Tommy Falls. I'll talk to them.
Okay.
You know, just to monitor it for a few days to see how it goes.
Yeah, and I did talk to the officers as well, and I'm talking with the contractor as well. If things should get out of whack, we can always put the signal at south on a yellow blinker on ARB just to try to alleviate some of the congestion until we get things dialed in.
Some lights too have, the lane that's turning left that would have the problem, like turn that one on green for like 15 seconds or something, and then turn the other.
Yeah, and that's an option. As of right now, that's not how it is, but we can keep an eye on that and possibly make that happen.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for the work we did in Diamond Way, I talked to the contractor. He'll be out Wednesday of next week to replace the manhole lid and a little bit of asphalt work around the manhole there. And that's on James Street there. We got confirmation that the paperwork is being completed for the First Street Reconstruction Grant. DCD's finishing it on their end and be sending it to us for execution. as I said, the county finally released the final approval for the 3 CDBG projects we got this year. One is sanitary lining on Parker, High, and Union Street. The other is the Center Avenue reconstruction, taking out those, a couple of those concrete slabs that are bad close to ARB there and replacing them. And the third is a couple demos. We'll get the notice to proceed on those and be bidding them probably around the end of July or early August.
Hey, Matt, can I go back to the sewer stuff?
Yes.
The problem we had in Diamond Alley behind the Eagles, that the water line collapsed.
Yes.
Is that contractor gonna do the asphalt that had to be dug up by the water authority, or is that gonna be put on the water authority?
I can talk to him about that. I know talking to Ryan from the authority, I believe next year they have a project for Diamond Way. I don't know what the entire extent of it is, but
Okay.
I'll talk to Ryan and work that out.
Okay. Thank you.
The 2019 paving of 2nd Street, that's moving forward. I should have it advertised and be able to hopefully talk about awarding it at the next meeting. We got the DCD Greenways Trails submitted, and then the 2019 CITF, that grant is that we heard back on that. We were not awarded that grant, so we're just holding on to that project, looking at future funding for it.
That's number 8?
Correct. And that's all I have, unless there's any more questions.
Matt, we did resubmit for the Cribs Field Pavilion.
Yes, that's
correct?
the Greenways Trails and Recreation.
Okay, very good.
That was submitted last month.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Alexander?
Thank you, Madam President. I have a number of items to report on, so bear with me for a little bit. We had 3 magistrate hearings, regulated rental ordinance violations that were originally scheduled for June 5, 2019. Sarah Milliken, Margaret Silvio, and Michael Teehee. None of the 3 submitted what's called a notice of intent to defend, and what that means is that we don't have to appear. The Borough of Verona doesn't have to appear at those hearings, and if one of the defendants does appear, then it will be rescheduled for a later date with their notice to intend to appear and defend noted on the record. So we did not appear at the June 5, 2019 hearings for those 3 people. All 3 of them showed up. And the magistrate continued those hearings, and in fact, they all 3 showed up down here about 15 minutes later. My understanding is that Sarah Milliken paid her violation in full, and that hearing is scheduled, and that hearing is canceled. Margaret Silvio and Michael Teehee, I believe Mark is negotiating with, and their hearings have been postponed until June 26, 2019 at 12:35. We also have a hearing scheduled on the same matter for Gerald Howard. It's scheduled for June 27, 2019 at 10:35. For some reason, it was not caught and scheduled with the other 3 at the magistrate level. We still have Enrique Vicari's hearing on June 20, 2019 at 10:35, and if council and the mayor remembers, we've already granted Mr. Vicari 2 postponements to date in order to bring his property up to compliance, and one of the things that Mark was most concerned about was the roof. And my understanding now, 9 days from the hearing, is that he's done nothing substantial to correct that. So we placed on the record before the magisterial judge that if Mr., and I think, Nancy, you were there, if Mr. Vicari did not comply this time, that he would consent to the maximum violation that we had requested. So I suspect that that's what we're going to have to do. I spoke with Ken Shields with the Oakmont Barbecue, and the resolution and the application that for his new place over here, my understanding is moving forward to the Liquor Control Board. As everybody's aware, we passed that resolution last month. I issued a permit for the Stonewall Cider House for extended use of their premises for the consumption of alcohol at the borough level. That doesn't mean they're allowed to do it. They still have to get LCB approval and an extended use permit at the state level. But the borough, under our new ordinance, has given them permission to move forward. There's been a couple of issues with grease traps in the restaurant areas that Mark's working on, and I'm looking at enforcement with him on that. We talked about the demolitions that are being handled through the COG. When those issues come up, it usually comes up once a year with these COG demolitions. I'm required to prepare what's called a legal clearance letter for each of the properties that are contemplated being demolished. And what that means is I have to review the judgment index and the lien index and mortgages to see if there's any outstanding liens, judges, or mortgages on the properties, and notify any lien holders and certify to the COG through a letter, an opinion letter, that I've done that. The two properties up for demolition through the COG, and Matt or David may have mentioned that, is 866 4th Street, and that's owned by an Edna Davis, and 874th Street, and that's owned by Glenn Gruber. And I think that they're both deceased. I think Edna Davis has been deceased for a long, long time. In addition to doing the judgment and lien searches, I also searched through the Register of Wills Index to see if there's any living heirs, and I wasn't able to determine that. But I have issued that legal clearance letter with regard to those two properties. And we sent a letter out to the owner of 450 Center Street, which is a company named Wise Women LLC. It's actually a lawyer, Sarah Weissman, letting her know that Mark plans on going forward with enforcement issues at the magisterial level. He had called her and left her messages, which she disputes that she received messages. I believe Mark on that. Mark would have no reason to not do that if he said he did it. 520 Center. And folks went by there, the grass is cut, and we're moving along trying to get somebody to buy that property and put it back on the tax rolls. Help Jerry with some of the garbage trans issue. That's no big deal. Hopefully that's going. We'll get along going well. Did you want me to talk about the Live Well resolution?
Yes,
real quick. We adopted the Live Well resolution last month, which is a new program through Allegheny County. Sandy had forwarded that resolution to Allegheny County, and we were notified by I forget her first name, but Ms. Pope at Allegheny County with the Live Well folks that the Borough of Verona will be announced as a Live Well community in an upcoming Allegheny County press release. And I have a note on my notes, 839 3rd Street, but I don't know what that is. But that's my report. Sorry it was so lengthy.
Thank you. Mr. Conti.
The steps coming down from Vogel's, AJ looked at them. He has to have that railing made. It wouldn't be feasible for him to do it. It would cost way too much for him to try to figure it out. He's in the process of having that done. They've been cold patching. They were told about the pipe down at Riverbank Park. Hopefully that's taken care of. And I would also, we do this every year, I would like to make a motion that we cancel the workshop meetings for June, July, and August. If there's emergency, then we'll have to schedule a meeting. But I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, motion on the floor to cancel workshop meetings for June, July, and August unless emergency appears by Mr. Conti. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Loalbo. Are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed.
Motion,
I'm opposed.
you're opposed?
Yeah.
You want to do a roll call?
Yes.
President Trubicki Bell.
Yes.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
Dr. Carpenter.
No.
Ms. Luaba.
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy.
Yes.
Ms. Provenza.
I have a suggestion, Jerry. What if we have the meetings June, but off July, since it's a big vacation month, and then back in August?
Got bills to pay, though.
Because we kind of start back in August again. Kids are back in school, and we're kind of back to business.
We pay the bills at the business meetings,
Oh, I thought she meant, yeah, right.
so.
The problem is that there's a motion and a second on the floor, and we're in the middle of a roll call vote. Whatever happens at the end of this roll call vote, you can revisit that and
Make a new motion.
Yeah, you make a new motion, but the motion on the floor is to cancel all of the workshop meetings for June, July, and August. And that's what's under roll call right now. We can deal with a second motion after that.
Okay, so.
So you're up. Yes or no?
I would like to see it done the way I suggested. I don't feel like we're business 12 months a year, but I don't see a problem being off in July. But I think coming back in August would be good.
So, no?
So you're a no?
Are you a no?
All right, I'll say no.
Mr. Sutrich?
Yes.
Undecided.
Motion passed?
Motion passed.
Motion passed.
So just so we're clear, as it sits right now, the workshop meetings are off for June, July, and August now. Council can revisit that at any time from this second till any time between now, June, July, and August, if somebody wants to do that.
According to Borough Code, Craig, isn't that we're obligated to have one meeting a month?
Borough Code requires you to have one meeting a month, one regular meeting, and you can have any special meetings as you see fit.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Dom, do you, did they happen to look at High Street yet?
Yeah, they were supposed to go through and clean it. He had a question of, I guess the sidewalks, if they clean the sidewalks, that's residential, that's residence property, so he wasn't sure if he's supposed to do anything with that. He told me he would send the guys up with the street sweeper and clean it. I haven't gone to check to see if he did it or not.
I didn't see any houses there between Lower Parker and High Street where the road kind of like swerves in an S fashion.
Yeah, I know right where you mean. I'll have to look at it again.
There's a wall there, but it's somebody's property, and the house really isn't facing that way.
Okay.
So.
I'll go up tomorrow and look at it and try figuring out what should be done, if that's the homeowner, if there is a homeowner there who would be responsible for that, or if it is the borough. I'm not sure, like you said, the house isn't right there, so I'm not sure if the homeowner is responsible or not.
Okay.
AJ didn't do that because of that reason.
All right, and if you need me to meet you there, I can.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. Dr. Carpenter?
So, just to clarify, in terms of the motion that was just voted on, the reason that I said no is I kind of agree with what Sylvia was saying. My recollection from last year is that we got behind on some things by not having 3 workshops. So, I'm not going to reintroduce a motion at this time, but I think having all 3 months of the summer off is a bit much.
We don't have 3 months off. We're obligated to have a meeting a month, which we are having.
That's not what I'm saying. To have all 3 workshops not happen is what I meant to say. So that's why I voted no. I don't see any problem with 1 or maybe even 2, but I think all 3 is a little much. That's why I voted no. I wanted to say in my report about updating on the E-Code 360, we're very, very close. Mr. Alexander is helping me out with some complicated issues that came up from the people who do the codification. And as soon as we get that taken care of, they'll be able to put the most recent ordinances online. And we are working on the permit for alcohol in the parks for special events. The draft of that will be presented on June 24th, which is the next ordinance meeting that's going to be taking place at 3 o'clock. I also just wanted to say that I think the flowers on the boulevard and East Railroad are looking beautiful. Tommy's doing a great job. We're going to try to raise enough money to buy 13 more actual baskets for next year to complete any of the empty spots that we have. But they look really good. And I guess Jerry or Matt will let us know when those planters come in so that we can get them placed.
They're gonna get delivered to the garage, so I'll let you know as soon as they get here.
And then, so then on whatever day they decide to put those in, we're also gonna move the one from the hula bar down to the middle of the block.
Right.
And so that's it for me for now. Thank you.
Can I ask, in regard to the complications with the codification, like what kind of complications are there?
I have the email right here. There are references to things like land development ordinances, home rule charter, maps that weren't included in the ordinances. There were six issues. I don't know, Craig, if you want to address more of that, answer to that question.
There are 6 different issues that they've spoken about. One has to do with the wireless telecommunication towers and attendance. That references land development ordinance section 403, and there is no 403, so they're trying to figure out which section it actually applies to. They believe it's 220 of the Allegheny County subdivision and land development ordinance. I'm going to go back and review that and confirm that to them, and they're going to include that in a footnote. There's something that talks about a home rule charter. We're not a home rule charter community. It's just miscellaneous things that they've picked out that just need some clarification in order for them to be able to finalize this for us. Our stormwater management ordinance referenced maps in Appendix A, and they weren't included in the ordinance, and I'm certain the reason of that is because we must have sent what was originally the Word version of that document off instead of the PDF version, because that Appendix A couldn't be converted into that Word document. It was only on the PDF version. So it's just some minor stuff, but some technical stuff that needs some clarification. I'm hoping to get down here tomorrow and meet with Matt and Dr. Carpenter if she's available. I'm gonna try to get down here at noon, but I'm rushing around tomorrow. I'm trying to get out of town. I gotta leave to Arizona tomorrow late afternoon and go help my uncle with a couple issues. So my goal is to be here at noon tomorrow to finalize this stuff.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McCarthy?
Nothing at this time. Other than to say that thought the bike derby went well and was well attended by the community, and everybody that I talked to really enjoyed it and said thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Suchovich?
Going over the bills today, whenever we got the email, I found a couple things that I had questions on. Contacted Mr. Kenna, and he explained them as tonight he explained them, so everything seems to be on the good side.
Very good, thank you. Mrs. LaLalba?
The pickleball equipment has been ordered, so it should be coming in shortly. We ordered 4 nets with the poles to be installed at the Riverbank Park where the tennis court is. Mrs. Pepper called me and left me a message. So if you see any masking tape on the court now, they would ask permission to be able to set up just a taping of the court, because they do have a portable net that they would like to use until we get our court set up. So I told her that's fine, no one's using it. So if you see masking tape laid out on the court, that's what that is, the outline of the court.
Jana, was that, I seen 2 nets out here over, I think it was over the weekend. Did that have something to do with it over here?
I
Were
didn't
they-
see those.
Yeah, do you know anything about that?
I've seen them out in the field a couple times on the weekend too.
Yeah.
It could be, I don't know.
They look like soccer nets of some type.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I don't know what they were either, but I mean, I just saw them there and
Exactly, yeah.
they look like soccer nets
They're
or
little
something.
round things like this.
Yeah,
Pickleball's like tennis.
Yeah, this is more like tennis nets, but smaller version of it. So, so that'll be shortly. And I think I need an exec session, personnel to come back.
Okay.
There's regarding street crew.
Okay, we don't need to come back?
We do.
We do need to come back. We want to do this now?
Fine, just finish the meeting.
Okay. Is that,
That's all right. Do you agree with that? Oh, okay.
Do you want to do it right now, or do you want to finish the meeting first?
I think we can do, I'd like to do it right now. I don't think it'll take long.
okay.
A motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion to go into exec session on personnel, and we will return.
I'll second.
Dawn, okay, motion for exec session by Mr. Conti, second by Mr. McCarthy. We'll be back.
Here's Sandy.
Okay, can I have a motion to return from exec session?
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Suchovich, second by Dr. Carpenter. Mrs. Wabbo.
Reason for our exec session is determined that our borough crew works really, really hard, but there's a lot of things on their list that needs to be done with summer help. So I'd like to make a motion to hire a seasonal person, part-time, for the street crew,
To advertise?
and we'll also advertise for that help.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mrs. Loalbo, second by Mr. Conti for summer seasonal employment for the DPW.
Need to advertise for same.
Needing to advertise for the position, okay? Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan.
Thanks.
Mrs. Loalbo.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Provenza.
Newsletter will be out first week of July, so all the ads and articles have to be in at the very, very latest, the 14th, because we want the newsletter to be in the mailbox first week of July. And with the holiday coming up, we really need them early. So if you can do that, that would be a tremendous help. I attended the Zoning Beyond Basics class, and that was held in the Monroeville Municipal Building on Tuesday, June the 4th. It was very well attended, and it was very informative. And also this Saturday, of course, I was at the Bike Derby with a wonderful crowd and perfect weather. I thought it went extremely well, and I extend thanks to our President Sandy, to Chief Ron McElroy, and, McLemore, excuse me. Also Sergeant Francos and all the volunteers and all of our council was there. It was a great day, and I just thank everybody. We greatly appreciate the help and the wonderful response we got. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt, I attended the Zoning Beyond Basics as well, and the gentleman that presented said that there's grant money out there for zoning ordinances and to update our ordinances and such. Do you know anything?
Was that Denny?
Yes.
Yeah, I attended one of those last year. There is some money available. I don't know of the exact details of it.
Okay.
We could look into it.
I mean, if we could even get somebody, because they talked about how the zonings have changed. Like back in the day, when ours was done, it was born out of the condition of those days. that like the new thought is like it's uniquely tailorized for the municipality, provide identifiable value, things like that. And they presented different ways of zoning as opposed to just laying out things. And I was wondering if we could even get a study done.
Yeah, there is some funds available for comprehensive studies. I can look into it a little further, see what their timing and everything is on them. I attended a class with him as well last year, and what tends to be the reality is when a lot of zoning was created, it was good for the times.
Yes.
And now we do make zoning changes, but it's more of a reaction to someone submitting something or proposing something that isn't exactly covered. So you hurry up and make a change in regards to that. So there are some areas that could have some improvements done. So I'll definitely look into some grant opportunities for that.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Anything on ALM, Mrs. Provenza?
No, not right now.
I do want to put out there, the COG girl from Trentham, she's on the rec board there. There are 3 concerts coming up in Trentham. One is this Thursday, The Sounds of Alvis. On June 27th at 7 o'clock, Johnny Angel Trio with Mary Ann Mangini. Mary Ann Mangini was a choral director here in the Riverview School District. Phenomenal singer. On June 30th, which is a Sunday, I believe, the Dick Taddy Orchestra is playing at 3 o'clock at the Carl J. Magnetta Memorial Amphitheater. So just wanted to put those out to everybody. So council will now hear comments from the public on public-related items. Please approach the podium, clearly state your name and address, and limit your comment to 3 minutes.
Mike Porbeck, 624 3rd Avenue Street, whatever we are. Mr. Drickbill, I think that was fantastic. You talked about the zoning. I think before we get to that, I really think we ought to look at sort of grants for a professional services to get a comprehensive plan done for Verona that would include zoning as part of that. I think if you do a big global picture first and then do the zoning within that, instead of doing the zoning first, just a suggestion, so thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dana English. I live at 733 East Railroad, apartment 2, so right above Gloria's. So I wanted to just take a moment to talk about the issue of the lot across from the Hula Bar and the increasing incidents of late night incidents of violence and altercations that happen there after hours. So specifically an incident, I don't know if this was brought up in any other meetings, but an incident that happened 2 Fridays ago. There was at around, I think it was around bar close, so it was right after 2. There was an incident of a loud altercation happening, and then one of the staff members working on opening Inner Groove came out, and we also came out because we heard this escalating over the course of about a half an hour. And then it ended up resulting in gunshots, about 5 or 6 gunshots being fired. So a call was placed to the police, and after about 25-30 minutes, a police officer did come and sat out in front of the building right next door. But after this happened, we kind of sat out and watched because we were waiting to see if anybody wanted to come to take statements of witnesses, and no follow-up was ever made with us or Inner Groove to my knowledge. And basically we're just concerned about, because we have to park there, and there were shell casings found in the parking lot, and this has just been a continuously escalating issue. It's probably happened, not gunshots specifically, but loud altercations happening well after midnight have been happening probably about 2 to 3 times a month since we've lived here, which has been a year. And, specifically the gunshots, we're worried about that. That could have hit passersby, anything. And just that no actual official statements were made, were taken. That is what concerned me as a citizen most. Anything else? I think that's...
On that, I did get a call that Saturday morning about the shell casings, and I believe they gave me your phone number, and I notified the police chief, and he did contact you, he said?
He contacted me, so then we walked over with another officer, and I don't remember.
Officer Bill Seiko.
Oh, yes, that's it. We walked over with him, and, we were giving him information and descriptions of the car. Nothing was written down, or the cars that were there, and that we saw coming and going. Nothing was written down, and, I was told at one point that I could call, which is very reassuring, I could call Chief McLemore directly if we had continued issues. But there was dispute as to whether or not, they said that there was no call into the police or that gunshots weren't reported. And we heard the call from Intergrove. Gunshots were definitely reported, and he was like, we'll figure out where the ball was dropped here. But that's, very concerning for us that there were gunshots. Go ahead.
He did call 911, and they did review the tape, and it came in as a, a fight at the Hula Bar.
Okay.
And that's all it came in as, because I had questioned that also, because I spoke to the woman over at Intergroup, and she said the same thing, but there was only 3 shell casings found.
Okay.
So apparently only one gun went off, because I don't think somebody, when you have an automatic, those bullets, they fly, out, so they're not going to run around and pick theirs up, so to speak. Not to say that they wouldn't, but it's kind of unlikely. And Mr. McCarthy, I'm sure he was in law enforcement, and he would probably, verify that also. And I'm not doubting anybody that there was. We did find evidence. He did look at the tape at the Hula Bar, and he's still investigating that.
Okay.
He talked to Sherry, I believe, Monday, and they sat down and reviewed the tape.
Chief's usually here for the meetings, and he's out on a call.
He was out on a call, yeah.
Right.
David, do you think the chief could maybe just follow up?
Yes, I will talk to him.
And like I said, he did call me directly. He followed up the next day. But my only concern is that this has been a repeat issue. That being said, we have seen a lot more police activity, presence, I guess I should say.
We are also going to make a change in that parking lot very shortly. We're in the process of it now, so it should deter what keeps going on there.
Hopefully. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There was shots down in Verona too last night.
You were shooting fireworks off down there, come on.
Oh, you were there. I'll put you later. There was one shot there, but a series of 5 after that. Sounded like a deer rifle. How do I know? Yeah, but I certainly heard it. There's something going on that's really weird. It may be after the groundhogs. There's tons of them. You like to eat?
Thanks, Bob.
Hey. Susie Davis, 537 Ridge Avenue. There's 35 people on my street. Only 4 of us got letters from the garbage company. Luckily that night I was out walking and telling everybody, put your garbage back, we have a new garbage company. What's going on? How come 31 people on the street did not get notified, along with how many others in the borough? I says, that was ridiculous. Waste Management did the ball drop or whoever, but why didn't Verona Borough send out a newsletter, a little flyer even, saying we was getting a new company?
1 second.
He's looking something up.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay, like I said, I was out walking Tuesday night last week. I was telling everybody on my walk, I was on the hilltop, I came down here and I was telling everybody, pull their trash in.
There was 2 people on North that didn't.
Yeah, so we received a letter, we received a list, a customer list from Waste Management when we first did this. It included 900 and some odd addresses.
915 addresses.
We provided that list to County Hauling. They used that to send out the letter. After
about a week, we started getting complaints.
So we started reviewing this letter, or this list. And a lot of Ridge Avenue wasn't on the list. funny that they've been able to bill you this whole time, but you weren't on their customer list.
Yeah, the original list only had about 15 homes and about 10 apartments on Bridge. So it didn't have any, and then one of the other things we found was the original list had the addresses but completely wrong names. So when we talked to the post office, some of the letters did not get delivered because of the wrong names on them.
Because moving in and out.
So we got a hold
That's
of
one reason.
higher
I think
ups.
because Waste Management didn't give the proper list might be a better reason.
Yeah, so in all, we estimated that there's probably about 50 to 60 people throughout the borough that didn't receive the letters. So with the second list, those should start trickling in this week because County Hauling has that updated list. So that's what we can say on that. I'm unfortunate with the bad list, not everyone did get the letters. And with the change of days, we did not post the entire letter online because we felt it would create more confusion to people who did not receive the letter than it would help at all.
As I said, after I got it and I was talking to my neighbors, I just went in the house and I just printed off the name and the phone number and the address so that they could contact the new company themselves to see about setting up something.
It was actually brought to our attention because Dave Matlin called us, and he's been getting bills from Waste Management for 2.5 years, yet the prior owner was on the list. That's when we started to question it, and that's why we discovered it, so.
It was really bad, I said. And it wasn't just our street, like I said, I walk everywhere in Verona.
But when they did come, did they pick up your garbage?
Oh, yeah, and another thing, when they did come on Friday, I was coming down Lower Bridge to Selden there at the Y. The garbage truck was coming across Selden. He just blew through that stop sign and just missed taking me out.
We'll make
Did
note
not
of that.
stop at that stop sign. I said, you little, no, there was some very nice words, it was a good thing nobody was around. And I told him about it and I yelled, I got out and I yelled at him, I said, you just missed hitting my car. Well, I didn't see you, I said, there's a stop sign over there. I didn't see a stop sign.
A big, I don't think.
I said, okay, I said, and you know, how can you miss my car, I'm a big bright red car.
I'll let the manager know so he can pass that along. Maybe.
Well, like I said, he blew through the stop sign, came around the corner, and had I not been paying attention to him coming, I would have been coming down the hill to get to the stop sign and he would have flipped me.
Hi, Jessica Verone, 722 Bruno. It's on the same topic, but I understand that Waste Management kind of seemed to drop the ball, or I don't know what their problem was with the list of the addresses and what have you. But I also have a suggestion in the future, when there's a contract or a big change like this that really impacts the community, I think it would be a really good idea if the borough was able to start that communication a little sooner. I know that it was voted on in, I don't know, it was a month at least, I think you had before the change happened, or roughly a month. I know it was really quick, but I think that would really have helped residents to at least be prepared for, okay, something's gonna happen. I don't know when my garbage day is yet, but I know that there's a change coming, so that it wasn't just like dropped on them at the last minute. So, that's not a waste management issue. I think that's something that the borough could be more proactive at in the future. And I also know that for us, and I don't know if this affects other people and how their billing cycles are, but like we had already paid in advance for June because it's quarterly how we're billed. So we had to call and get a refund. But I don't know if everyone else in the community, is thinking through that or aware. It might be something that.
And I'm sure Waste Management is not going to volunteer.
Yeah, they're not going to voluntarily.
That's a great suggestion.
Send back people's money.
I did talk to Waste Management about that. They said only about a third of the town was on that billing cycle. And they said it would take probably about 2 months, but those people that were on that billing cycle, they would automatically generate that refund. And for anyone that paid for the entire year.
Just might be good to tell people, check their bill, because even that was brought up at the meeting where it was voted on, like, make sure that people check their bills so that they're not overcharged. There was some,
the gentleman from County Hauling brought that up.
Yeah, right.
So that was something I checked with Waste Management on, and I was told that in about a 2-month time frame, that's when the automatic refunds would occur.
Okay.
But we can definitely put something out on
I just-
social media and on the
yeah.
website, reminding people.
Because not everybody is as proactive as us.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I always go there for charging waste management, but I mean, there's also a 5% discount for the yearly, right? So
Yes.
that's out there too. If you pay for the year, you can get a 5% discount. I know, that's another thing that should be
Can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Conti, second by Mr. Suchovich. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Trying to heighten their start.